Hello, I am back. I didn't think I was going to cook anything, but I decided to do this. What I'm going to teach you how to do is prepare venison, or marinate it at least. I do not have venison. Gee, now how are you going to prepare venison if you don't have it? Well, a very close cut of a cow or beef would be the sirloin because it's very lean, and that is how venison is. So I'm going to teach you how to make the marinade for it, and we're going to use sirloin in lieu of venison strips, right? So I have a very thick piece, and it calls for 2 pieces, but because this one's so thick, I'm going to cut it in half to make, this looks like it's about 1.5 inches, so about 0.75 inches. You just cut it straight down this way, okay? It's a little bit frozen. I thought it was an old wives' tale to let this sit in room temperature. I'm like, that's not gonna work, it'll be hours. It was a half an hour and it's already thawed. Isn't that amazing? The part that was exposed to the air is still a little bit on the cold side, but nonetheless, it's thawed. All right, so I'm gonna do a little hack, okay? Little hack here. So you're gonna do all your ingredients because you're gonna let this meat sit into this bag anywhere from 2 hours to 8 hours max. Maximum is 8 hours, okay? So instead of making a huge mess, we're just gonna put all the contents of the marinade into this cup here. So we're gonna be here for a little bit, so I have some content. I went over Trump's speech in New Hampshire, and there's some comms in there that I wanted to point out. I didn't see his South Carolina one yet. That'll be for another day. Oh, let me get tablespoons and let me get my cup. Okay. Here we go. Maybe a teaspoon too. Yep. All right. All you need, tablespoon, a teaspoon. Let me see. Yeah. 1 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon, and this is called a liquid measurer. So anything liquid, oil, honey, water, gravy, you want to measure it in this kind of cup, right? I didn't realize this until I took cooking class. These are for dry ingredients. So, because, well, I'm going to use my olive oil. If you guys don't know, I'm absolutely obsessed with Athena olive oil. It's a little pricey, but not as expensive as those crazy ones out there. Well, back when I used to get these, it was like $13. I think it might be a little bit more now. So you want 1/2 cup of olive oil. Not regular oil, you want olive oil. A good olive oil is highly recommended by yours truly. The better the olive oil, because this is basically the beef of it, essentially. Sorry, so you're gonna pour that in. 1/2 cup, look at that, boom, done. Right? And I'll let this pull on the bottom, and as soon as it gets a little bit more, I don't like to waste it. Everything else is in teaspoons and tablespoons. Again, I don't have cloves of garlic on me. You'd think I would, being Italian and everything. But we're gonna go with this. This is just as good for a marinade. So if you don't have cloves of garlic, worry not. So I would say that's about 1.5 right there. Okay, it's about 2 cloves. I'm gonna do a little bit more because, you know, I like garlic a lot. This marinade doesn't have to be exact, but when preparing venison and you want a consistent flavor, I would just go by my proportions. The people that I share this with like it a lot. So again, we're gonna do 1/2 cup of olive oil. Let me just give you the list of ingredients. Have olive oil, soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, red wine vinegar, garlic, ground black pepper, which I just have black pepper, and smoked paprika, not regular paprika. You want the smoked. There's a huge difference in flavor. And this is basically what gives the distinct taste of prepared venison. This is what does it. It's what makes it taste amazing. All right, so we'll do the liquids first. So we got the olive oil, half a cup, and pretty much everything is 2, 2, and 2. So you're gonna do 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, if I do say so myself. Leia and Perrin's Worcestershire sauce is worth every penny. Other Worcestershire sauces that I have tried in the past just doesn't have the flavor that this does. All right, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. What I use in lieu of soy sauce is liquid aminos. Essentially, it's like amino acids. It's a much healthier version of soy sauce. It's got a little bit more nutrients in it. And it's made by Bragg. They're pretty good. And what I like to do is if there's a couple drops left on it before I put the lid on, sometimes it'll dry off a little bit, and I don't want it getting into the recipe. It won't hurt it, but I'm just one of those OCD people that doesn't like things that typically wouldn't be there in my meals. All right, give this a good shake. Shake well. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons. So the wet liquids will be in tablespoons. And the ground pepper and the paprika is going to be in the teaspoon. So real easy. Alright, that's done. Getting a little bit low on my Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to have to get more. 1. 2. Adds a little bit of, the smoked paprika gives a little smokier flavor, but altogether it's a different flavor. It's not like you're normally smoky. There's a little bit of a kick to it. And again, 2 tablespoons. 1. 2. All right. And you can spread this out over even 4 pieces of meat, so you don't have to just do this just for 2 and that's it. All right. Now we're going to do a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Actually, I think this calls for a tablespoon of black pepper. I remember doing more black pepper than smoked paprika. But you can smell. I almost went like this. Smell it? You can smell the smoked paprika. It makes the dish. So the equivalence to 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. So we'll do 3 quick teaspoons of black pepper. So you're going to use the tablespoon for every single thing in the dry ingredients, and the wet, except the smoked paprika. And the olive oil is basically just meshes the whole thing together. And there you have it. This is typically what a venison marinade looks like. Now, they say 2 hours for minimum, and 8 hours maximum. I've also seen, half an hour minimum. So I'll do a half an hour. And that's basically, it's one of the few recipes that I'll use smoked paprika for, because it is its own flavor. It can be a little pungent. So for stronger marinades, I would use that. I'm going to show you, if you want to make 2 pieces out of 1, you want to cut it evenly. This is what you do. A nice sharp knife. Get rid of the blood. I don't do blood. And just put it on its side. Or you can even cut it this way. Just do that. go down with it first and then back out. There you have it. 2 even pieces of meat. I'm just going to give this an old plop, plop, plop. And because I'm only doing this for half an hour, we could leave it at room temperature. I'm trying to get as much air out of it as possible. Okay. Just kind of mush it all in there. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It's a simple recipe. If you have somebody that gives you venison as a gift, or if you go to Black Wing Meats, I want to say it's called, they will send you venison. And they also prepare it correctly where it does not taste gamey. Most people do not like venison because of the gamey taste. Now, I will argue that if prepared correctly, you can't tell the difference between that and beef. What gives it the gamey taste is the silver skin, which is basically like this tough tendon-like skin that's over all the muscles. Over all the muscles in the deer. So if you do not take that silver skin off of it, which my stepdad didn't used to, you could taste the gaminess no matter how you prepare it. You can marinate it for a month and it'll still taste like a gamey piece of venison. If you take the silver skin off of it, it will expose the meat inside. It is a little bit of a darker meat than beef. It's almost like a brownish color. So when you see that after making your purchase of venison, or if somebody gives it to you, don't be scared of it. That's just how the meat looks. It might even smell a little different than if you were to smell beef, but that, again, it's a different meat altogether. So if you're a little bit leery of eating venison, this dulls it up nice. You know, you don't even know you're eating deer. Now, I've prepared elk in this same fashion because I want to dull it up as much as I can. There's just something about elk meat. Elk brats I've eaten, they're pretty good. I don't know, it just does not taste the same as venison. So maybe if you were to eat elk instead of your regular white-tailed deer, you'll notice a difference. Refrigerate. I already made it, huh? This is so good. There's no bite to it. Very good for you. All right, we'll clean this up. All right, we'll go over some content with regards to Trump's speech the other night. It is quite warm in here. Maybe I will keep this in the fridge. Yeah. We'll leave it in the fridge for about 20 minutes and I'll take it out the last 10 to get back to room temperature. I'm not comfortable leaving meat out when the house is more than 72 degrees. It's just, I don't know. Most likely it would be just fine, but why chance it if you don't have to, right? So I'm just gonna give this a wipey, a quick wipey.